May profits be upon you. Welcome to another weekly market forecast. We're going to go over the S&P, the NASDAQ, and the Dow. We're going to look and see what the outlook is for this week. And we're going to bear in mind that we got tariff craziness going on, and other countries might announce retaliatory tariffs on the U.S. We still have the Russia-Ukraine war and the Gaza Strip going on. All of this at the same time. And it's just havoc. All right. It's just making the waters very rough to navigate uh, in the markets. So let's understand that this Wednesday, I'm sorry, is CPI data, the Consumer Price Index, and the Feds are going to be keeping an eye on that because they want to be able to settle, uh, look for ways to cut the interest rates in the U.S. And if they don't see a strong enough reason, if the numbers come in hot, they're probably not going to cut it. All right. If the numbers come in low, maybe they may be look. They may look to do go the other way. All right. So let's see. All right. We're looking at the S&P. We're going to look at these three together because, as you can see, this is the S&P. Look at the structure. Look at this demand zone. All right. This area of fair value here that price has found its way into with a lot of momentum, by the way. All right. If we look at the NASDAQ, we see the same situation. Price has found its way into this demand, and we could find support there. Same way with the Dow. Not very different between the three. All right. Except the Dow is plunging, plunging into this. And there's a good reason to think that it may go lower. All right. Look at these. Look at the draw on liquidity here. All right. These are relative equal lows on the Dow. All right. The NASDAQ not, and the NASDAQ and the S&P not as much. But uh, uh, what can we expect here? Well, what I'm going to point out is on the monthly time frame is what we're looking at is one on the S&P and the NASDAQ. There is a bullish fair value gap right here, and one in the Dow. But the Dow is on its way to filling that. So this is the weaker one because it's going lower. It's going lower than the other two, right? But you would think that after coming into an area of fair value, which is where price left a fair value gap behind, you would think this would be a nice strong area for price to probably find some support to go higher. That's not what we're finding right now. There's still time for it to react. We haven't gone past this low, and I'll tell you right now, as long as this low is intact on the S&P, on the NASDAQ, and the Dow, uh, I would be looking for bullish setups. All right, but in the Dow, because we're so close to those lows, I'm looking for price to bounce right around now. If I see price continue to come down, then I'm going to be looking at these the relative equal lows as the draw on liquidity, and that price will probably want to do that before it starts to pull back. A little different. No, not so much different. The Nasdaq, I'm looking for the same, right at the same areas. All right. Uh, you can see this bottom order block here is where I'll be looking for that pull up. So I'll mark it. I'll mark it right here. Boom. Why are you giving me crazy looking lines? I don't know. All right, we have that order block there. I'm looking for that order block to be mitigated and for price to pull up. All right, you see, I had this low here as the inducement for price to come to sweep that liquidity low and tap into this order block, and then start to pull up, start to show a retracement. But it's already reached. It's already reached on every one of them. This one here as well, as you can see right here, on the Dow and on the NASDAQ. We've reached those lows, those inducement lows. Will we see a pullback? I don't know. But the way I do it is I go to the weekly, I take a look and see that price open with a gap down, right? A gap down. I'm looking for price to close that gap and work its way back towards this low, right? Same thing with the NASDAQ. Same thing with, why are your lines crazy? Same thing with the Dow. But we see the initial pullback here, and we got a wick of respect here. We'll see if this will close the gap. I'm looking at this gap here, same way I'm looking at that same gap on the other two. All right, I'm looking for that gap to get filled and pushed and push higher. Do I want to take shorts from here? If it gives me a proper break of market structure to the downside and that pullback, yeah, I will take low. Why? Why would I do that? Because I think price is coming for these lows. I think we're going to see lower prices in the equity markets. I do. All right, and we'll see if that happens. I don't like taking shorts in the equity markets because it's always recovering, always going up. So here is an area where I would like to see a higher low form so that it can move higher. Yes, so that would make sense. All right, but this is a short term trade I'm talking about here. So we'll see if price gives that signature here that says, yeah, we're going to reverse here. We're going to start to pull back into these lows and whatnot. I'm going to wait, but I'm not going to wait until it gets all the way up here. I'm going to look for that signature for longs, and then when it gets up here, I'll manage my trade and follow with a stop loss. If I start to see price give me a high, a higher low, a higher high, and then a lower low, that is a market structure shift to the downside. I'll be waiting for the pullback, and then we can take a trade down towards these lows. Same deal with the NASDAQ. That was the S&P I just came from. Waiting for a high, a higher low, a higher high, a lower low, and then a pullback for a high probability trade to the downside towards this low, and quite possibly down towards these lows. So that's it. Now, if it continues up, it doesn't give me that bearish signature, I'll be looking at buys. As long as this low remains, intact, I will continue to look for buys if I don't see that signature turn, that market shift. All right, same deal with the Dow. All right, the Dow is finding itself right here, finding support here right now, and I'm looking for price to pull up. Give me a market structure shift to the downside, a pullback, and then I will be taking price down, especially to these obvious draws on liquidity like the relative equal lows here. All right. Yeah, so that's where I'm at. So near term, all right, short term bullishness, but I do believe that we may have a longer term sells. All right, I'm not going to say a bear market, but we're heading towards it. We are heading towards it. So we'll see if this the order blocks hold. All right, that order block holds here right now. We're trying to get to it, to do it. But we'll see if it holds. Otherwise, uh, the draw on liquidity is going to be this low right here. That's in the NASDAQ, and that is in uh, the S&P. That's where I'm at. Hopefully we get a turnaround around here. NASDAQ, the NASDAQ is weaker than the S&P, so it's penetrating a little further in, and it's about to hit where this the sell to this stronger buy. It's about to hit there. I didn't draw it out. I didn't mark it, but this is what I'll be looking at right here, and we are right there. That is an area of that is the order block, and I want to see if price will hold. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see more content, and make sure you catch my updates throughout the week. All right, and I will see you in the next video, and thank you for watching.